In this section, we're going to explore some of the options that are available to us as we embark on a journey towards cloud adoption. We're going to start off by reflecting on some of the migration strategy options. And one of the options that we can consider is whether we build afresh or whether we buy, or if we have an existing application, one of the options would be to modify the existing application so it can run on the cloud. So these are decisions that we need to make. The other option is for us to simply try and lift and shift. In other words, move the application as is into the cloud. So obviously that would work in certain cases and not in others. The third option is modernization. So if we have the budget and the time and the skills, we may actually prefer to simply modernize our application for the cloud environment. And the final option, which takes the most time and effort, is rip and replace. So this is where we completely abandon what we have and we essentially build a new cloud native application. The bottom line is there are options, and what we may choose to adopt may depend on the specific type of workload. It may also depend on time. How much time do we have? How much skill? And how much investment are we prepared to make, right? So the benefit of the cloud is we do have the flexibility and we do have the choice to essentially adopt the migration strategy that's fit for purpose. And I always forget that there is an option for leaving everything on-prem. We tend to be so fixated with a move to the cloud. So leave on-prem is a strategy. There may be certain workloads that are just not worth migrating to the cloud. The benefits do not justify the effort that goes into migrating the workload to the cloud. And you may even argue that there is another option, maybe a sixth option, which is to completely decommission the application and do nothing. Right? So those are migration strategies. Let's now have a look at some additional considerations. Some of these considerations we may have covered briefly in some of the earlier modules, so it may be a recap. So one of the considerations as you're moving to the cloud is time to market. So depending on your priorities, depending on how much time you've got, you may find yourself taking different paths in order to achieve your goals. Total cost of ownership. Migrating to the cloud requires an investment. You're hopefully looking for a return on that investment. So if you've already made investments in other environments outside of the cloud, that could have an impact on your total cost of ownership. In other words, the total amount of investment that you're having to make in order to support and deliver that workload to end users. And features and functionality could also determine whether you move to the cloud or not. You obviously need to take into account the capabilities that the cloud has to offer and ensure that it aligns with your needs and it delivers the value that you're expecting. And some clouds may already have a solution that you can leverage. It could be a managed service. And so if you can find a solution that already exists in the cloud, be it a software as a service solution or a platform that's ready for use, that may accelerate your decision to move to the cloud. The ability for you to work in the cloud, in other words, having the knowledge and expertise, having access to partners that can support you on your cloud journey, those are additional considerations that are very, very important. And finally, core competency, right? You need the skills. You need to embark on the process of not only enabling your workforce to have the technical skills, but cloud adoption also has a cultural element. You need to essentially get the whole organization in the right frame of mind and get the key stakeholders behind the move to the cloud and driving from the front, right? So most of the successful cloud projects are where the leadership team are on board and the leadership team are leading from the front. In this module, we've introduced a number of migration strategy options as well as considerations. In a later module, we're going to focus 100% on migration and explore each of those migration options in a lot more detail.